What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to This Week in Esports and Gaming, the show where we talk about the latest and greatest in business news for esports, gaming, and creators. I'm your host, 𝗠𝗿. We're here for the first full week of April 2023, and let's dive right into it. For our first top 3 story, Savvy Games Group has acquired 𝗠𝗿𝗶 for $4.9 billion. This will be one of the biggest deals in all of gaming, taking the 6th place spot after Activision's acquisition of King for $5.9 billion back in 2016. The deal is said to strengthen Savvy Games Group's positions in the global and esports markets. The deal is actually still subject to regulatory approval. And just so you know, 𝗠𝗿𝗶 was worth $3.3 billion when it raised $340 million back in October of 2020. They acquired Foxnet Games and GSN Games in the past 3 years, and 𝗠𝗿𝗶 is behind many popular mobile games like Yahtzee with Buddies, Star Trek Fleet Command, Marvel Strike Force, Stumble Guys, and Scrabble Go. And 𝗠𝗿𝗶 will continue to be led by the current CEOs Walter Driver and Javier Ferreira, with SGG taking a more laid-back approach to the acquisition. This comes after Saudi Arabia's PIF said that they're investing $38 billion into the gaming space, with the government of Saudi Arabia wanting to diversify the economy and support the local games industry in Riyadh. I haven't seen a ton of coverage of this acquisition relative to some other things that have happened recently, but I think it's a pretty big deal given the enormous size of the actual deal. And Savvy Games Group is not looking to back down in esports and gaming anytime soon, and it seems they really don't care about how the economy is doing for tech or gaming companies in the United States, given Savvy has already acquired ESL Faceit Group for $1.5 billion and has already invested into VSPN, Embracer Group, Nintendo, and more. Who knows what they'll continue to do? They mentioned that they will have 5 subsidiaries with their money, which are 966, a professional service provider for game developers, VOV, an architectural firm specializing in gaming and esports venues, an upcoming studio that will publish core video games, ESL Faceit Group, as well as the Savvy Games Fund, which is Savvy's investment arm that will focus on establishing developers in Saudi Arabia. All that to say, might they look to actually acquire a large esports org next? And speaking of esports org acquisitions, Counterlogic Gaming is going to be merged with NRG Esports. To be quite frank, calling it a merger is a bit loose given most of CLG got laid off, with the LCS team from CLG being the main thing that will go on board for NRG. But we'll call it a merger nonetheless because that's what Madison Square Garden Sports Corporation is calling it. According to the announcement, MSG is going to be a majority shareholder in NRG Esports as a result, and the LCS team will also be there now. That being said, this still means that much of CLG is not going to be there, such as CLG Red and the staff not associated with CLG's LCS team. As such, Ludwig has announced that Moist Moguls, the esports org that he and Moist Critical founded, will be supporting CLG Red under the Moist Moguls banner for at least the VCT Game Changers tournament. Seemingly, this is a good move on Ludwig's part, even if it kills his wallet. This reminds me of the Optic Gaming and Team Envy merger that ultimately ended up in Team Envy not existing, which is basically CLG right now, since they won't exist after Hotshot founded it all those years ago. Wishing best of luck to those the CLG folks who got laid off, and I gotta give a shout out to Danielle Fox, who's the head of marketing at CLG, who made a video actually highlighting all the staff under her supervision. Snoop Dogg has left the FaZe Clan board of directors. This was noted in the SEC filing later this week, which means that Snoop Dogg will no longer be associated with FaZe Clan in any way. And FaZe Clan apparently gave him $1.9 million in stock and $248,000 of stock to each his son and companies under his control, though not all the stocks vested fully, given the initial 2-year partnership was cut short here. Given though FaZe's stock price and reputation financially has not been that great, it makes sense that Snoop Dogg is leaving. But you have to ask the question, how many people even knew that Snoop Dogg was in FaZe Clan in the first place? He didn't really do much with the org, to be entirely honest, than the original signing and the chain he had on during the Super Bowl. And if he's someone who wasn't even that involved with the org publicly wants to leave the board, I'm wondering how it is behind closed doors and behind the scenes. I think it's quite a time for FaZe Clan and the esports industry as a whole. As far as partnerships go, Blast partnered with BenQ and Pernard Ricard. For the first partnership, Blast will use Zowie monitors for each stage of the last CSGO major, which is honestly a pretty smart move, and Zowie monitors are already quite popular in CSGO, so this will only reinforce the popularity among esports advocates for CSGO. For the second partnership, Absolute Vodka, Ballantine Scotch, and Jameson Irish Whiskey will all be present during physical and virtual spaces at the major. This includes activations on stream, watch party activations in the tournament, and social giveaways, though it's not mentioned if we'll actually see the alcoholic beverages at the tournament. ESL Faceit Group continued their partnership with Acer. This is an extension, with Acer continuing to partner with ESL on its major events like IEM, ESL Challengers, Dream League, and ESL One. And Acer's brand Predator will provide its products for most of ESL's esports events, with this partnership seemingly covering a larger portion compared to its previous partnership, given Lenovo Legion was the exclusive PC partner for IEM in 2022. Pivot Agency partnered with the Golden State Warriors. Pivot will work with both the Golden Guardians and the Warriors Game Squad to provide biz dev and partner acquisition for both groups, with deals like partnerships, team naming rights, facility partnerships, and more being covered. Godsend partnered with 𝗠𝗿𝗄, and 𝗠𝗿𝗄 will become Godsend's CSGO's team's main sponsor, as well as the exclusive sportsbook partner for the entire organization. For reference, 𝗠𝗿𝗄 is based in Estonia and was founded in 2016 to focus on esports, football, tennis, and ice hockey betting. Team Vitality partnered with Bombers Original. Team Vitality will see 2 bomber jackets made based on Tokyo and Las Vegas in conjunction with Bombers Original, with the jackets featuring Vitality branding on the inside and the outside. Horizon Union partnered with Sorare. Horizon Union's FIFA esports players and team will make content for the blockchain fantasy esports company, with digital and in-person activations taking place as well as bespoke content for the Sorare platform. As far as finance and M&A goes, Devolver Digital have acquired Doinksoft, and Doinksoft is headquartered in Oregon and is known for its games Gato Roboto, Demon Throttle, and Devolver Bootlegs. They're currently working on the game Gunbrella right now. Xset have acquired Queen's Gaming Collective. The 15 women signed to Queen Gaming Collective's org will now be a part of Xset's roster, with streamers, pros, musicians, models, cosplayers, broadcast hosts, and more being brought on board, further cementing Xset's commitment to diversity and promoting women in esports. Paxi Games have raised $3 million. The investment comes from Ludus Ventures, with the main focus of Paxi Games being on casual games and a hybrid revenue model. This comes after Ludus Ventures' initial $1 million investment back in 2021. Nod1 Gaming have acquired a majority stake in Branded. Nod1 have taken a 51% stake in Branded in an all-cash deal of around $1.3 million, according to the Hindu Business Line. Nod1 will now take control of Branded's existing event IP, such as Sports Matters and It's a Girl Thing, with Branded CEO Jasper Donna being brought on board to focus on international sponsorship for Nod1's IP worldwide. ZeniMax have acquired Nemesis Games. This was a pretty quiet acquisition, as ZeniMax registered ZeniMax Online Studios Hungary in Budapest last year, though it was not really publicly announced. Additionally, the founder of Nemesis Games is now listed as the CEO of ZeniMax Online Studios Hungary, and for reference, Nemesis Games has made games such as Towerland, Landit, and World Traveler. As far as workforce changes go, Christy Scanlon joined Safronic as the SVP of Business Development. She was most recently in the same role with Mainframe Studios before joining Safronic, and she was most notably the VP of Business Development for Animation and Games at Technicolor for 10 years before, and spent 10 years as the head of production for Threshold Entertainment as well. She holds a bachelor's in film studies from Wesleyan University. Robin Silk and Aaliyah Fadiva have been promoted to game producer and EMEA product lead for League of Legends and Wild Rift at Riot Games respectively. Robin has been with Riot Games for 2 years now and got promoted from his previous role as associate producer. He will now be focusing on shipping Valorant to China, where he was previously doing content operations and integrations before. He holds a bachelor's in finance and information analytics from CU Boulder, and Aaliyah was previously the EMEA product lead for Wild Rift and now expands her role to also include League of Legends. She has lots of experience at both Riot and within League, as she's played the game since 2013, and she has over 4 years of experience with Riot and 4 years of experience at wargaming.net as well. She holds a bachelor's in radio physics and computer science from Belarusian State University. Phil Harrison, the former VP and GM at Stadia, has left Google. He spent over 5 years at Google and left quietly with a seemingly no announcement, and he was previously the co-founder of Alloy Platform Industries and spent time as a corporate VP at Microsoft with Xbox as well, and interested to see where Phil heads next with his deep experience in tech and gaming. Mike Milanov, the former Chief Business Development Officer, has left Team Liquid. He was with Team Liquid for over 7 years, starting as the Director of Operations, moving all the way up to Chief Business Development Officer, and he spent 2 years before that at Azubu before, and he was also a pro World of Warcraft player for a while. Excited to see where you go next, Mike. Amazon has once again announced layoffs in its games division. This nearly affected around 100 people in areas such as Prime Gaming, Game Growth, and Amazon's San Diego studio, and this comes after Amazon said they would eliminate 9,000 positions, with over 400 of those being at Twitch. As far as new stuff goes, Activision Blizzard have settled an esports salary lawsuit with the U.S. Department of Justice. The lawsuit itself was based around salary caps for players in the Overwatch and Call of Duty League, with the DOJ arguing Activision Blizzard suppressed esports player compensation. Under the pending settlement, Activision agrees to refrain from putting any limits on salaries of esports players or teams, which could set an interesting precedent for the future. The VCT Americas League have peaked at over 400,000 viewers, and the league averaged over 225,000 viewers, making it the most popular at Valorant's new international leagues, according to esports charts. For reference, VCT EMEA and Pacific League peaked at 288,000 and 272,000 viewers, respectively. Electronic Arts has debuted EA Sports FC. This new EA Sports FC brand will debut in over 100 matches across leagues like the Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, League One, WSL, NWSL, CONMEBOL, and more. This comes as a replacement due to the FIFA, given that the partnership ended in 2022. NetEase are going to shut down Hyperfront after a lawsuit with Riot Games. This change is going to happen tomorrow on April 10th, with NetEase deleting all info related to player accounts and character data, given Riot says it's too similar to Valorant. That's it for this week in esports and gaming. Thank you so much for tuning in. Credit to the authors and publications themselves for the images and information provided. And once again, giving a quick shout out to James Fudge, Hongyu Chen, and Tobias Sek for the Esports Advocate. Go support them down below in the link in the comments. If you know someone who would find this valuable, please tag them or share this with them on LinkedIn or anywhere else. And as always, everybody, I appreciate your time and have a great day.